Have you noticed one big thing that helps you to get clients? That thing is trust. And the reason I first noticed this was because most motion designers are getting their work from referrals. And obviously referrals is a quick and easy way to build instant trust with your potential clients. But there is another way that you can build trust quickly with potential clients on your portfolio, on social media, and anywhere online, and that is to build case studies. Now I know you're probably thinking, well, case studies are really hard. I'm not even sure what I should include.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
But it's okay, because today I'm going to show you a system that I use to create case studies quickly, and you can also download our case study worksheet for free. I'll leave the link below this video in the description. I'm also going to be showing you some real life case studies and showing you where you can improve. So let's get into it. Now, there are 7 vital ingredients that you need to include in your case studies. I'm going to go through each one of them today and show you what you should be including. These are client, credits, challenge, solution, testimonials, and process. There's also another thing that you should include that will blow your clients' minds, but more on that later. So let's start with the client. This is a fairly obvious one. You're going to want to include the client, company, or brand name here. So the next thing that you should include in case studies is, of course, credits. It's really important to share what exactly you did on a project, because that helps to build trust with your client. So for example, if you did the animation but not the illustration, you're going to want to include who the illustrator was on the project, because it's really nice as well to give credit where credit is due, but also in case the client reaches out to you, they think that you did illustration on that project, and then you have to tell them that you didn't do illustration on the project. That kind of is a little bit of a tricky situation, and I think it's always best to be clear up front about exactly what your role was on each project, and then the client knows exactly what to hire you for. Next up, you should include what I would call the challenge or the brief of the project. So this could look like the brief that the client gave you, but here are some questions to really help you draft this paragraph of your case study. What is the goal or purpose of the video? Why did the client want this video? What results is the video trying to achieve? What is the client looking to say with this video? And what is the client trying to accomplish with the video? Next up, you should include the solution in your case study. This is essentially outlining what you made in response to their challenge or their brief. You can ask yourself the question, what did you or the team create in response to this brief or challenge? Now here's a little example. We created 12 Instagram reels for an eco t-shirt brand. Brand partners and influencers use these marketing materials so that they could help spread awareness of that brand. One absolutely vital thing that you should include in your case studies is testimonials. This helps to build trust quickly with your potential clients and shows that you're a great person to work with. There's lots of tools out there that can help you to get testimonials quickly, and it's also something we talk about in our course Client Quest. So if you'd like me to make a video on how you can easily get testimonials, let me know in the comments below this video. Next up, you should put process or behind the scenes in your case study. Showing behind the scenes of your work can really help the client see what goes into what you create, and this can help to increase its perceived value. It can also help with client education for direct clients who maybe don't know what goes into a motion design piece or an animation. In this section, you can include style frames, storyboards, wireframes, and maybe some sketches. At the beginning of this video, I said that there's one thing that's really important to include in your case studies that's absolutely going to blow your potential clients' minds, and that is results that you can get your clients. So most companies and brands don't actually care that much about design and animation, unfortunately. They really just care about the results that it can get their company. Now, obviously, this makes sense more when you're working with direct brands or clients, and not so much when you're working with agencies or animation studios. So if they're your clients, don't worry too much. Obviously, if you can get them to share results with you that you can put in your case studies, that is great. But for most of you, it's probably only going to apply if you're working with direct clients. So what results should you include? Well, any increases in revenue is obviously always great if you can. Any views, shares, or increase in awareness, and any impact that your project had on the business. Now, usually it's quite hard to get these results, so I'd I'd recommend asking the client before you work with them on the project whether they'd be open to sharing the results with you so that you could share them in a case study. So there's another way that you can get even more from your case studies, and that is breaking up each part of the case study into a social media post. So for example, you could start with sharing the challenge or brief and how you address that. Then your next post could be about the process and the behind the scenes. Then you could share some results that you managed to get for the client on a post. And lastly, you could share a post with a really great testimonial. Some of my previous students in Client Quest have even gone as far as animating testimonials that they've gotten from their previous clients, which shows that they're really trustworthy, but also shows that they're really good at animation. So there's a little bonus trick for you. Let me know if you're going to use this trick in the comments below this video. Now let's take a look at some case studies and where they can improve. And remember, you can always download our case study worksheet to help you to make your case studies quickly and easily. So first up, we have a case study by Callum, and I think this is a really great example of a case study for a personal project. So let's take a look. So what I really like about this is how he's like surrounded the text with the images. I think that looks really nice. And he's added why he came up with this idea, which I think is really good. So he said that he started the project with one main goal: to further develop his 3D skills and get comfortable with the workflow. So he's really showing off his 3D skills as well in this project. So if we have a look at the process, it's really, really nice because it shows all the behind the scenes, all of the hard work that really went into this case study and into this project. So I think Callum's done a really excellent job on building a case study around a personal project. And if you've ever struggled with that, I think this is a fantastic example of how to do that. Obviously, it doesn't include all of our case study elements from our worksheet, but because this is a case study for a personal project, you don't need to include results. You don't need to include testimonials because obviously you won't have them. So if we scroll further down here, we can see his sketches and how he made this project. So you can really see that Callum's put a lot of effort into this and that he is obviously really good at making 3D stuff. So I think this is really nice. And he's got the storyboards in here, style frames, and I really love this end part where he's showing the animatic and the final together. I think that's a really, really cool idea. And I think this could work really well for social media posts as well. Next up, we have a case study from Amanda. I really like the look of Amanda's site. I just think it's really cute and nice. I like this work with me, send email part. I think that Amanda could include more details in the case study, but I also think that she's done a pretty good job. So she has the project overview in here, technical specifications. I don't know how important that is, but I mean, I think it's nice to include deliverables there. I think is good. So this is showing like the concept and the brief from the client. I like that she showed that she made 2 concepts for this. I think that ideally what she would add is obviously a testimonial from the client, sharing any results from the client, maybe a little bit more about the process and the behind the scenes as well. But overall, I think her site is really lovely. And I think just with adding a few more details, it's going to elevate that case study to the next level. So next, we're going to look at Alex Zane's case study. So let's go down then. I think this is really detailed and it's really nice. One thing that I think could be done is maybe pulling out some of these sentences that are really impressive or that are just key points in the case study, because sometimes maybe people don't want to read as much, you know. But what I think is really nice is this bit. So if you're doing any color correction, I think this is a really, really nice way to show that. I love the interactivity of this. I think it's just really fun to do. I wonder if there's a way that anyone, you know, more in design and animation could do this too, maybe with your behind the scenes of your 3D renders to the final render, something like that. What I really love about this is that they've included a testimonial at the end. I think that's great. I think that if anything, this testimonial probably could have been moved up a little bit, but I think this is a really great start. And I think just by cutting out some of the detail and including any results and things like that, I think that would make this case study awesome. So next up, we have a case study by Abby. So I really like this. I think it's super cute. I love how she shows the different character development and designs. I think that's really nice. I like how she's put the client and the role, which is like a big tick from our worksheet. So well done, Abby. I love how she's talked about how they've developed the concept and things like that. I think this is really good. The best thing about this is saying what result the video actually got. And unfortunately, Abby hasn't made as much of a big deal about this as she should. So she should have said, you know, this video's been on their YouTube channels that queued more than 1.5k views. I would put that a bit further up and bigger. And ideally, Abby, if you can get a testimonial from Bella and Duke, I think that would be awesome. Also, because this was, by the looks of it, with a direct client, I would say that Abby could definitely try and get some better results on how this actually affected their business and did it help them to, you know, make more sales of this dog food. So next we have a brilliant case study by John, and this was actually for a Netflix program. So I think that's pretty awesome. I think what John could do actually is make a little bit more of this. You know, let's shout about this because it was really, you know, it's an awesome trailer for this show. Now, he probably doesn't have access to the client's results and maybe not a testimonial, but potentially he could get a testimonial from the other person that he worked with on this project. And I think that he could make more about that it was nominated for an Emmy, because I think that's a really great thing. So potentially you could move this up, make it bolder, you know, really shout about this because this is a great project that you worked on. And I think that you could make a little bit more of this case study. Potentially you could show some more behind the scenes and things like that. Obviously, maybe John would need to get permission from whoever he worked with, potentially even Netflix, which might be difficult, but I'd always recommend asking the client if you could share case studies on your website and see if you can get any more details from them about how many people watch this show and things like that. So next up, we have a brilliant case study by Whaley. She's followed a lot of the structure from our case study worksheet. Remember, you can download the case study worksheet in the link below this video. And I think it's really great that she's got the challenge here, the solution, the process. It would be nice to add some more images in here if possible. And she's got some of the results at the end, which I think is incredible. One thing I would say is this testimonial is really, really great. But what would be even better is if she had a picture of the client with it, just to build trust further if the client would allow her to use that. And also the client's name that wrote this testimonial as well. And also, Whaley, I would say if you can put this testimonial further up on the page, it'll just really help you to build further trust with your clients. But overall, this is a fantastic case study. So well done, Whaley. And remember, I will put a link to all these case studies and everyone's websites in the description below this video. So if you want to have a deeper dive and a little bit more of a look into what everyone is doing who's featured in this video, then please do that there. Now that you know how to make amazing case studies and break them up for social media posts, you probably want to know how to use social media to grow your motion design business and career. So you should watch this video next.